WrestleMania 18, the second ever WrestleMania to be held outside the United States of America, and this one was held at Toronto Skydome, where WrestleMania 6 was held. And this one had like 67,000 people all packed in to see one of the biggest ever pay-per-views in WWE history, in my opinion, because the star power was off the chain. Since WrestleMania 17, the invasion angle had been and gone. The pro wrestling landscape was totally different. Now there was just one company around, well, in North America at least, and that was the WWE. They'd taken all the top stars from everywhere else and they'd brought them all into the WWE, apart from one or two key exceptions. One obviously being Sting, who never came to the WWE, and the second one being Goldberg, who came after this. Right, so let's get into the card, shall we? First match, Rob Van Dam going for the IC title against William Regal. Rob Van Dam was so over at the time. During the invasion angle, he was one of the guys who everyone thought he should be pushed towards the world title. Even though you had guys like Booker T, Austin, Rock, Triple H wasn't around, but you had all these top guys, Undertaker, Kane, you had all these top guys, but Rob Van Dam was so over that people thought, do you know what, he should be given a push and he should be given that world title. He was really making a name for himself at that time, the first time he was really getting international exposure. And this is a decent match, only went just over 6 minutes, and Van Dam ended up getting the win and winning the IC title, which was a nice little moment for him. Next match, DDP defends the European title against Christian. DDP was a huge star in WCW, but in the WWE they didn't really treat him the same way, or the way that he would have been treated, and the way the fans sort of would have wanted him to be treated. This match was okay. I think DDP ended up getting the win by a roll-up. Oh no, I think he hit the Diamond Cut and then got the pinfall. And yeah, he came out of it with his European title. Third match, Goldust versus Maven for the Hardcore title. Maven was the Hardcore champion. He just won Tough Enough. He'd eliminated The Undertaker at the Royal Rumble. They were trying to push him. They were trying to make him look like a bit of a big deal. But the thing is, especially when you look back at this show and look at all the guys they've got the WCW, the ECW guys and all the WWF guys, Maven just pales in comparison. And basically this match ends when Spike Dudley runs down to the ring and pins Maven when he's just out cold, and Spike Dudley becomes a Hardcore champion and fucks off with the belt. They do a load of little skits throughout the night, and I think Christian is the last guy to get pinned for it. Christian has it, and then I think it's either Crash Holly or Maven rolls him up to get the win and leaves with the Hardcore title. Next match, a singles match between Kane and Kurt Angle. Like I always say with Kurt Angle, you know exactly what you're getting. You're going to get a good match. This match was a good match. He had the ankle on him quite a lot. I can't remember how he beat him, to be honest. It must have been Angle Slam, or maybe he cheated. But yeah, Kurt Angle did get the win, and this is an alright match. Again, not much really to say about this one. There wasn't really much of a storyline going into it, or at least I don't remember if there was. And yeah, it was decent. It's a Kurt Angle match, and Kurt Angle always delivers, especially at WrestleMania. Right, match number 5, The Undertaker versus Ric Flair. Obviously, this is a WrestleMania, so The Undertaker won this match. This was a very good match. This was no disqualification. Obviously, Ric Flair was being booked as the co-owner of the WWE at the time, because Vince and Stephanie had apparently sold their shares to him, which it sort of turned everything on its head, because at the time Vince McMahon was the good guy and Shane and Stephanie were the bad guys, and then the very next night when Vince McMahon had beaten WCW, he became the bad guy and Ric Flair became the good guy. It all just flipped totally. But WWE likes to do that. They just like to change things up. Yeah, this is a very good match. Ric Flair was really good in this match. I can really tell why people call him one of the best of all times. I've not seen much of his stuff from the 80s, especially nothing from... Well, one or two things in the 70s from that greatest collection of his, but apart from that, this was one of the best matches of his I've ever seen, to be honest. It was no disqualification to sort of cover up the fact that Ric Flair didn't have what it takes anymore to like put on a proper in-ring match. He was sort of working off the rust, and he got a little bit better at it as time goes on in the WWE, but then he got older as well, so he sort of stayed at quite a similar level. But yeah, Undertaker got the win. I think he won it by Tombstone. Arn Anderson got involved. Undertaker was bullying Ric Flair's family going into it, and that's why Ric Flair gave him the match. But yeah, very good match. Next, Edge versus Booker T, in a feud that all came about on kayfabe wise because they were arguing over a Japanese shampoo commercial. You know, what a stupid reason. Edge beats Booker T. Something that, in hindsight, it irks me a little bit, because Booker T was one of the top guys in WCW, and Edge was just like a mid-card WWF guy, but he's going over Booker T at this pay-per-view, and I think it was sort of a message being shown, like, listen, we're going to keep faith with our WWF guys, and we're going to put you over the top WCW guys. But although Christian had a job today, $down paid, so sort of a bit of both, goes both ways, doesn't it? Next match, Scott Hall lost to Stone Cold Steve Austin in a match that I used to hate this match, but when I watched it this time, I thought it was actually a really good match. Kevin Nash weirdly didn't have a match on the card. It was because, again, like with Ric Flair, he wasn't really in ring shape, and Nash has got dodgy legs at the best of times, hasn't he? So you can't really trust Nash to be in a match. Could have given him a squash match, I suppose, but that would have been pretty pointless. He was basically Scott Hall's valet. Was getting involved in this match to try and stop Stone Cold, but at the end, Stone Cold just dicked these two. And again, it goes back to what I was just saying about Edge and Booker T. It was another blatant case of, listen, we're the WWF, you're WCW guys, we're going to prove to everyone that we were always better than you. Austin, the top WWF guy for so long, is going to best the top tag team from WCW for probably ever, in my opinion, in the Outsiders, because the Outsiders are both heavyweights, but they work so well as a team, and it was just so well done. But yeah, Austin beats Scott Hall. The referee's down. Scott Hall's got a chair. Austin kicks him in the balls. Or kicks him in the midsection. Kicks Nash in the balls. Stunners both of them. Stunners Scott Hall about 4 times in this match and then beats him. Oh yeah, there is the story going into it, I suppose I can mention that Austin was offered the chance to face Hulk Hogan at this show. A spot that Rock ended up taking, obviously. And Austin said, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to fight Hulk Hogan. So that's why Austin was, like, not all the way down the card, but he was in match 7 when really he was the WWE guy for so many years, and he got sort of slotted down the card because they were a bit like, you're not going to do the match with Hogan, fine, you can fuck off down the card a little bit. Match 8 for the WWF Tag Team titles, Billy and Chuck. Now, a little side note on Billy Gunn, this is the 3rd guy who he'd come into WrestleMania as Tag Team Champion with. First, obviously, was Bart Gunn, second was Road Dogg. Now, I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'm sure going into the dumpster match that him and Road Dogg were Tag Team Champions. And then, obviously, Chuck. So, yeah, 3 guys he went into WrestleMania as Tag Team Champion with, so he must be the best Tag Team wrestler of all time, surely. Kayfabe-wise, anyway. Right, so we got Billy and Chuck versus the APA, which is Farouk and JBL, obviously, Bradshaw. The Dudley Boys, Bubba Ray and Devon, and the Hardy Boys. Now, again, it's the Dudleys and the Hardys in a big s'mores tag team match. Edge and Christian had broke out as singles wrestlers at this point. APA and Billy and Chuck sort of got a bit of a rub by getting pushed into this match, getting involved in the tag team titles. But it was okay. 4 corners tag team match. The APA were eliminated first. I think the Dudleys were out next, and then the Hardys were eliminated last. A good match. Stacey Keebler was at ringside. She sort of like pulled the shorts up into her ass, and then to like distract Jeff Hardy spanked her, kissed her, and then pushed her off the ring. That was basically like the best spot of the match. Like, there's nothing else really too great about it. I think a table was set up on the outside, and when the Dudleys went for the what's up, I think maybe Chuck threw Devon outside of the ring and through the table. Yeah, Billy and Chuck ended up getting the win and keeping their tag team titles, which as a just throw together tag team is a bit weird, but again, Billy Gunn just had that stroke, didn't he? Next singles match, Rock versus Hogan. Now this one, I really don't like this match, mainly because the copy I have of it is the dubbed version, where they took the music out and they pumped in weird crowd noise and they pumped in weird Howard Finkel speaking. But the match itself, in complete honesty, it was an amazing match. The story they tell in the match of Hulk Hogan, this all-time great in the WWF, I don't think I'd ever lost a WrestleMania match at this point. No, he'd never lost a WrestleMania match at this point, and he loses to The Rock. He puts The Rock over. Now, The Rock, everyone looks at him as one of the best of all times, but if it wasn't for this match, he wouldn't have got half the rub as he did. Hogan did such a good thing, in my opinion, by putting him over, and this is just a fantastic match. I'm not going to talk about the ins and outs. Hogan hits him with a leg drop, blah blah blah, all that stuff. Go and watch it if you've never seen it. Go and watch just the highlights. You can see good highlights packages of this match on YouTube. Go and watch it. Very good stuff. Semi-main event was a women's match. This was like basically a piss break. No offense, but it sort of was. Jazz defended the title against Trish Stratus and Lita. This was a very good women's match, in complete honesty. The women really did deliver. It was in Canada, obviously, so Trish Stratus was a great favourite going into it, and Jazz ended up getting the win, basically. But like I said, very good women's match. And main event, Chris Jericho defends his undisputed WWF Championship of the World against Triple H. Chris Jericho had Stephanie McMahon at ringside with him. Stephanie was divorcing Triple H kayfabe-wise at the time. This was an amazing... No, that's not what I meant. I was thinking about the Rock match still. Sorry. This is a very good match. The thing that gets to me is that Triple H had to go over him, obviously. Triple H... That put Triple H as the guy in the WWF at a time when they had The Rock, they had Hogan, they had Hall, they had Nash, they had Austin, they had Taker, they had Kane, they had Flair, they had Angle, and yet they said, no, we're going to put Triple H as our main guy. And I feel a little bit uncomfortable with that, especially in later years, like, looking at how much backstage, like, I'm losing my train of thought here. How much backstage stroke that he has, basically, all the control that he has, that's the word I was looking for, the control, all the backstage control that he has. But yeah, Triple H was a really hot commodity at the time, because he was away for the invasion angle, he was injured, then when he came back the fans were loving him. It was because of the promo packages they did for him, to be fair. But yeah, he was booked in such a high position because he was totally business, in complete honesty. I know I said that stuff, being a bit down on him, and it does make me feel uncomfortable, but Vince McMahon really does like Triple H, and even back then when he wasn't married to Stephanie, because he was so business, and he has a good mind for the business, and that's why he gave him the world title. All in all, I think this show is better than WrestleMania 17, because this was consistently good. Now, maybe that's because this one, in my mind, when I was going into it, I wasn't expecting too much, and WrestleMania 17 I was expecting a lot, but I personally think this pay-per-view was better than WrestleMania 17. But I want to know your guys' opinions. What do you think? What do you think this show's... What do you think of it? Give it a rating. Give it a rating out of 10. Let me know what you think of it. Is this a good show or is this a bad show? What do you think of this review? Obviously, I always like to know that stuff. What would have you done with this card? Bearing in mind that all the wrestlers in the world were basically open to the WWE at the time for the first time ever. What would you have done? I would have done this totally differently. I would have brought Goldberg in, and I would have had Austin Goldberg on top. I would have had Rock Hogan stay the same. I would have had the Outsiders versus I don't know, Triple H and someone. I would have had something like Angle, Jericho, Guerrero and Benoit all going at it, although Benoit was injured, I think, and Guerrero had been released. But yeah, you know what I mean. All the wrestlers in the world were available. So what is your dream card for this time? Because this is such a key time in pro wrestling, in my opinion. And I have done a dream card of this before. You can find it on the forums easily. Well, not easily, but you can find it on the forums if you want to look for them in the Dream WrestleMania post and all that stuff. But yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you to... what's he called? Guns GM something. In fact, I'm going to look it up now. His name is Guns GMZ, I think it is. No, my computer's taking ages to load up the video, so whatever. Oh, I've got a new comment. Anyway, yeah, thanks to the guy who's posting me WrestleMania 19, so now I can go and watch that because I don't have that. Thank you very much for watching. Please rate, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you very, very soon with my next video. See you later.